Okay, good afternoon, WTI. David Beetson here with you. I'm the main campus co-director. I've put together a little bit of something for you today just to talk a little bit about kind of the direction that we are going as a school. And obviously you guys are a huge part of that. So I'm excited to bring this information to you, and I hope you find it as useful as I found it fun putting it together for you. So let's talk about where we're going and kind of how we're going to get there. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to do was clearly define a vision for WTI. And as I looked back through some of the things that we've done, kind of some of the places that we've been, and the direction that we're going, I came up with this. Into the next decade, WTI will become a learning culture in which students, alumni, staff, faculty, and business associates hold equal share. This may seem a little bit ambiguous, but really what I'm trying to get to here is that we put such a big focus on educating our students. The time that we spend in the classrooms, the time that we spend preparing curriculum, modifying the labs, bringing in our advisory board committees to make sure that we're on top of things. We do such an excellent job, I feel, in the classroom. But I want us to go beyond the classroom. I want us to go into those employers that are hiring our graduates. I want us going out and talking to our alumni, the folks that have graduated from the program. We've been in business since 1954, so we've got 62 plus years of graduates that have been out there, that have been in the field, that can bring back valuable information to us. So I'm trying to create this all-encompassing kind of informational network between everyone. Okay, so we're going to talk about a school born of technology, using technology to communicate. So right now, again, being Wichita Technical Institute, we've all got the latest and greatest mobile phones. We've got up-to-date software, we've got new laptops, we're working with tablets in the admissions process. All of these things are great, but it doesn't necessarily enhance the way that we communicate. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Technology will play a huge hand in how our metric-driven departments operate, resulting in much more efficient workplace operations by the school itself becoming a network. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to get there? Options like the soon-to-be integrated Skype for Business are going to give us massive opportunities. Skype for Business, for those of you that are not aware, our network administrator has been working on implementing this campus-wide here at the main campus first, and then we'll be branching that out to the other locations, Joplin, Topeka, Tulsa, and the East Campus. But essentially this will allow us to communicate with each other a lot more efficiently. It'll also give us opportunities to video conference. One of the reasons that I wanted to put this together for you today in a different platform was that we're all so accustomed to dialing in and getting on conference calls, and I really want to see WTI living in an era where where the communication level with each other is higher and a little bit more personalized. So with Skype for Business, it'll give us an opportunity. For example, let me just walk you through one scenario real quick. The receptionist gets a lead in, a paid per inquiry lead for our admissions team. What we're doing right now is, trying to get a hold of one of the reps, whoever's next on the list, one of the admissions advisors. If they're not available, maybe we wait a couple minutes, we try to get to the next person on the list. This can be a very time-consuming process. With Skype for Business, it's going to show us, okay, you've got 5 admissions advisors at the main campus, 2 of them are on the phone, 1 of them's away from their desk. Your best 2 options to get a hold of somebody immediately are options C and D, for example. So it's going to improve our ability to get a hold of those folks as quickly as possible. It's also going to give us an opportunity as we communicate with other campuses and with other instructors, other folks within our departments, to do that faster and more efficiently when we're not trying to constantly have to track somebody down. So again, just using the technology that we already have and just taking it to the next tier. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about role changes as well, because this is something that I think is important. Over the last couple of years, I've been here at WTI for 4 years. I've seen the model kind of ebb and flow. Things are seem to be kind of in flux right now as far as, are there department heads? If so, are they local? Are they corporate? And a lot of this has just been based off of enrollment numbers. So what I want to get out of the way today is formalizing something that makes sense for everybody. So starting first, obviously we've got a director of operations right now. I'm going to recommend that we switch that role to a CFO or Chief Financial Officer. When I'm looking at what the DOO does here at WTI, I really think that there are more CFO-related job responsibilities already in that, and I would like to see a little bit more of it. So for those of you that can't read this, the CFO monitors the well-being of the campus locations, financially adjusts budgets, spots trends, and approves all manning staffing solutions. Important organizational messages will be delivered by this entity, which will include annual campus meetings, updates, etc. In addition to the change to the CFO, I want to see a corporate departmental director for every single department again. Right now, for the admissions department, we have no corporate director. For the career services department, it's been myself for the last couple of months. I should say last couple of years, but I've continued that into the last couple of months as well. For the financial aid department, we have a local director here in Wichita, and there's not a corporate registrar. So I see this as a huge value add and a big opportunity for us, because one of the things that we miss out on, I feel like, when we hire new employees is the orientation process. And what I mean by that is, are we doing a good job building value for people when they come in? I don't think that we are, and I think that these corporate departmental directors can play a huge hand in the development of these folks. A lot of times, we bring folks in, we do a good job of training them, but we're doing a better job of showing them the what than we are the why. By getting some of these departmental directors involved, which usually they have a very high tenure here at the school. They've got a ton of experience, a wealth of knowledge, not just in their own area, but how their department and how opportunities there can interact within the school. So I see them as a big part of the orientation process for new hires and just becoming more visible outside of their own departments. Campus directors, this is going to be more your student-facing and faculty-facing entity at each campus. Obviously every school has one of these. Here at the main campus, I don't want to see them focusing on items like financial aid or registrar, things like that, which is again a huge reason why I'm going to advocate for the corporate directors to make a return. Campus directors, really, I just want involved with the students, addressing their concerns, issues, ways that we can help them, and then on the other side of that, the faculty. It's not to say that I want them necessarily playing mediator between the two. I just think it makes the most business sense for a campus director to have more involvement with the students than, for example, your registrar's office, where they're going to have to be brought up to speed, learn the processes before they can even make recommendations anyway. Marketing director serves as a liaison between active stakeholders and potential stakeholders via social media campaigns, community service, volunteering events, in addition to evaluating website content, lead sources, and all items related to the flow of lead activity at the school. Right now, obviously, that is our very own Rob Wynn. He does an excellent job with this. He's been taking classes through the Google Academy as well. He's constantly looking for ways to improve our social media footprint, new opportunities with graduates, alumni, things like that. And all of this will greatly enhance Rob's flexibility and the opportunities that he's going to have in the marketing department as well. And finally, the human resources manager. Seems pretty self-explanatory, but the one thing that's going to make this different at WTI is that they're going to serve as the communication hub for everything. So whether that is new information on a SharePoint server, whether that is updates about certification pass rates, whether that is that we hired a new entity, things like that, I want the human resources manager to be in tune with that and keep a finger on the pulse of the staff at all times. All right, so I've got 4 steps here specifically as it pertains to improving the communication as part of my plan. So number 1, Skype for Business, a customer relationship management tool for our admission staff, which will allow them to get in touch with folks quicker. Skype for Business is a big part of that, and SharePoint integration. We've talked a little bit about SharePoint in the past, but the first step was obviously turning it into a massive cloud storage data tool for us. So we've done a good job, especially our IT director, corporate IT director, Rolando, reaching out to all of the campus locations, as well as department heads at the time, and integrating all of their information into SharePoint so that it's a catch-all. Right now we've got tons of antiquated shared drives, placeholder drives. These are messy. There's some things in there that haven't been updated for 10, 15 years, some longer. So we're constantly having to go in there and clean them out. Everybody that comes into the job likes to do things a different way, sets up their own folders, and as a result, year after year, this just gets more and more convoluted. So with SharePoint, obviously, being able to control how our data is saved, where it's saved, getting everybody on board with doing it the same way will be a huge value add for everyone. And then also just turning this into kind of an organizational intranet page, if you will. So when everybody opens up their Internet Explorers, Mozilla Firefox, whatever the case may be, Safari, it will instantly populate with the latest and greatest updates here at WTI. This is to increase our transparency to you. If an instructor is doing particularly well in Joplin, say for example, with the CPHT examination and pass rates are through the roof, I want other locations to be able to see that so that hopefully we can key in find out what's going on in Joplin, and mimic that type of result, or at least at the very, very minimum, talk about it and see what's going on there so that we can help other campus locations and start working more efficiently together. Second step, establishing an alumni association. I feel like this is a huge part of who we can become. You know, when I worked in the career services department, and even to this day, like I get a ton of graduates coming in and they're asking me, you know, where can I get alumni gear? Where can I get t-shirts? Where can I get jackets? Things like that. We don't even have anything that's available. And it's really sad to me because, again, having been in business for over 62 years, we've got people that are absolutely screaming from the rooftops that want to still be a part of WTI, and we're turning them away. That doesn't make sense to me. So I want to get involved with creating a formal alumni association, start up a jump-off point for that, whether it's a barbecue or some type of an event, bring them in, show them the changes to the school, reintegrate with them, and start building that network for all of us that can make this school a better place for people to learn. Third step, Moodle rooms. Now I know what you're thinking, we're a hands-on training institution. We're going to maintain that model. We're never going completely to an online model of training. However, one of the things that we struggle with, obviously, is student retention. So we've got a student that you know, is gone for 4 or 5 days. When we try to get them back into the classroom, try to get them caught back up to speed, Moodle rooms can give us the flexibility of having those assignments at least available for them online so that they can pull them, communicate with their instructor, look at their grades, see what's going on next week. It's a tether that right now we don't have for our students. When they're out of the classroom for a couple of days, the risk factor of them not coming back at all is very high, as we've all seen. So this is an opportunity for us to stay connected with them in a way that is very, maybe not as personal as, you know, an instructor making that phone call, but let's face it, even if you do get a hold of them on the phone, you still can't read verbatim all of their assignments. So communicating this in class on the front end that, hey, you know, things happen, we understand, we're here for you, we want to make it better. When they do happen, here's ways that you can still access your content, supporting it with videos. You know, this is something that could be a huge value add as well for the corporate training opportunities here at WTI. We do a lot of integrated electronics technology corporate training in the form of J-Standard solder certification, ISET certification, things like that. But we're not really exploring anything in the IT arena or the heating and air arena. So there could be opportunities for us there where you know, maybe some folks just need refreshed before they retake, say for example, an A+ certification, something of that nature, or a BSP, Building Science Principles, for heating and air. And we can kind of can the material for them, bring money into the school, and really the only additional cost here would be probably an instructor that we already have on site, you know, getting them involved to administer the class. So flexibility is the key with this step. And finally, the fourth step is it pertains to communication. I want to see us do a lot more cross-marketing. We've actually started that this week. So a couple of weeks ago, we hosted our first ever community resource event here at the main campus. People took great pictures, great video. We had some excellent feedback from our students. We're in the process right now of compiling all of that together. It was actually approved and put on YouTube this morning. We're going to send links to all of the participants that came. We're going to share this video with them on Facebook, try to get them involved as well, not so that they can necessarily boost up WTI's reputation, but so that they have opportunities as well, just to show the community that, hey, you know, we're making a difference in these students' lives, we're partnered with WTI, we're in this for the same reasons, we want to see people be successful with their training. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about how we're going to work specifically. This is something that's more important to me probably than anything else in the presentation today. And it's something that I already feel we do a great job with, so don't get me wrong. You know, having been part of 4 or 5-year reaccreditation processes now, the compliance side is huge to me, it's huge to all of us. We've seen it in the news lately, in the media, where schools getting shut down because, you know, whether it's lawsuits or accrediting faux pas, things like that. We can't afford to get stuck in any of these sticky situations. So just to go through these real quick, how WTI works. We operate all department functions within the bounds of both the Department of Education and ACCSC by generating open communication between those bodies and the school itself. This is something in the past where, you know, it's been viewed more as the Big Brother scenario. For us specifically, I want it to be more communication that goes both ways. Emphasizing the importance of such with staff at all levels, all of you. So creating an atmosphere where this type of collaborative effort with those partners is welcomed. An emphasis on always doing what's right for the student as it pertains to both executable vision and business ethics. We're going to work with, you know, every single department, all the employees on development plans rather than evaluations. To me, the word development speaks a lot more to us becoming that learning culture than evaluation does. So, change management. This is only going to happen with all of you. I can sit up here and I can talk for as long as I want about the things that I want to see be different here at WTI. At the end of the day, it really comes down to you folks. So, when you participate with us, when we've got that communication amongst ourselves, creating that network, it opens up more doors for us. It helps us understand what's going on in the classrooms or what's going on in the department so that we can get people engaged to fix it. WTI was built on the back of a family. It's important that we maintain, that family type structure here at the school, especially to me. But get involved, step outside your comfort zones, and be willing to speak up if we see something that can be fixed. At the end of the day, we want this not just to be the best place for students to come to school, but the best place for employees to work. And we need your communication and your feedback to do that. All right. So, as a kind of a final item here, I'm going to wrap up talking a little bit about strategic agility and the 5 building blocks that I've identified for WTI to be more responsive, whether those are to staff situations, trends, the market, the economy, students, whatever the case may be. These are kind of the building blocks of how we're going to do it. Maintain flexible budgeting, hire right. Coming from a staffing background, especially myself, I think it's so key that we spend more time identifying the right folks that believe what we believe here at WTI, and that's that education is a very, very important thing that can open any door for you that you want. And by bringing in folks, taking our time to bring in the right folks that believe those things, we're doing ourselves a huge service. Getting those corporate directors involved again as well with the onboarding process. This is not to say that we're muddying up the process with 6 or 7 interviews. It's more that career services director or that admissions director getting involved. Welcome to WTI, this is what we do, this is how we do things here. We're glad to have you to be part of the team. Makes a huge difference as opposed to just giving somebody a manual to read, sitting them at a desk, and hoping that they work out. We do a good job defining, measuring, and analyzing, but we need to take a little bit of extra effort here to make sure that we can improve and control these items. What I mean here is, okay, so we define the issue, we measure that, we've seen declining retention, for example. We can analyze this and see if, we're seeing the same thing at other locations. But how do we make it better? And more specifically, how do we control it? How do we stop the bleeding? After we did this survey with our students back in October about the things that concern them outside of the classroom, that was the whole premise of the Community Resource Fair, was to target those areas specifically that they said they needed help in, which is where the improve and control comes into place. Utilize simulation modeling to test new ideas with student ambassadors. The Digitour is a great example of this. For those of you that don't know, here at the main campus, we've been recording a series of videos, original content with instructors, labs, graduate testimonials, employers. And what we're trying to accomplish is a more interactive tour with potential students, especially in the afternoon hours when there's no instructors or students here. It can be a very quiet building. So before we launch this, I really think it's important to go ahead and get this in the hands of admissions reps now, have them tour it with students that are already students, or student ambassadors for that matter, and just see what their thoughts are, see how they view this differently from when they came into WTI originally, because they've got a basis of comparison. Are there things that we need to add? Is it too much information? Is it clunky? This is the type of feedback that we need, and this is what simulation modeling can help us with in this particular case. Finally, the most important part to me, defining the what and allowing you to define the how. So we want to give you guys a lot more autonomy as far as kind of controlling your own destiny in the classroom, but we also want that collaborative effort of opening up those lines of communication when you need help. Thank you all so much for your time today. It's a pleasure working with all of you. If you have further questions, you can reach me on my email address. My door is always open to you as well. I'm really looking forward to an exciting year, and thank you so much for your time.